The Last Supper is a significant event in Christian tradition, as it is believed to be the final meal that Jesus shared with his disciples before his crucifixion. It took place in an upper room in Jerusalem. Jesus gathered his 12 disciples to celebrate the Jewish Passover. Jewish commemorates the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt with a festival called Passover. It is celebrated on the 15th day of the Hebrew month of Nisan, otherwise known as March or April in the Gregorian calendar. The holiday spans 7 or 8 days, depending on the Jewish tradition observed. Reform Jews celebrate for 7 days, while Orthodox Jews celebrate for 8 days. During the Last Supper, Jesus shared profound teachings and actions with his disciples. Before the meal, Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, demonstrating humility and the importance of serving others. By washing the disciples' feet, he demonstrated that true leaders serve those they lead, teaching them the importance of serving others. As they were enjoying the meal, Jesus took bread, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take, eat. This is my body which is given for you." He also took a cup of wine, gave thanks, and said, "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." A sacrament called the Eucharist or communion, which is observed in many Christian traditions to commemorate Jesus' sacrifice, was instituted on this day. The practice of communion invites believers to remember Jesus' sacrifice and to reflect on their own faith and commitments. The sharing of bread and wine symbolizes Jesus' sacrifice for the forgiveness of sins, highlighting the Christian belief in grace and redemption. Jesus instructed his disciples to love one another as he had loved them, emphasizing the importance of love in their relationships and ministry. This would be the defining characteristic of his followers. The new commandment to love one another reflects the core message of Christianity: selfless love and unity among believers. Jesus predicted that one of his disciples would betray him, leading to a moment of introspection and concern among them. When the disciples were distressed and questioned who it would be, Jesus replied, "The person who has shared the bowl with me will be the one to betray me." He then identified Judas Iscariot as the betrayer, saying, "Woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born." After dipping a piece of bread in the dish, he gave it to Judas and said, "What you're about to do quickly." This exchange highlights the inevitability of Judas's betrayal while also showing Jesus' awareness of his fate. When Jesus predicted that Peter would deny him 3 times before the rooster crowed, Peter responded with strong denial and confidence in his fidelity. He insisted that he would never deny Jesus, saying, "Even if all fall away, I will not." This bold declaration highlighted Peter's unwavering loyalty at that moment, despite the forewarning given by Jesus. However, as the events unfolded, Peter did indeed deny knowing Jesus 3 times, fulfilling the prediction. This moment is significant in the context of Peter's later redemption and leadership in the early Christian church. Jesus assured the disciples that after his departure, he would send the Holy Spirit to guide and support them. Jesus encouraged his disciples not to be troubled, promising them his peace and reassuring them of his continued presence, even after his crucifixion. The acknowledgement of betrayal serves as a reminder of human frailty and the challenges of loyalty and faithfulness. Jesus' predictions about denial and betrayal highlight the struggles that his followers may face, urging them to remain steadfast in their faith despite uncertainties. As we reflect on the Last Supper, we see Jesus instituting a new covenant by sharing bread and wine. The breaking of the bread, symbolizing his body, and the offering of the wine, representing his blood, are acts of sharing. It is profound, as it invites us to partake in his sacrifice and reminds us of the intimate relationship we are called to have with him and one another. In this gathering, Jesus also demonstrates humility and service by washing the feet of his disciples. This powerful act teaches us that true leadership is grounded in service. As followers of Christ, we are called to emulate this humility in our relationships and interactions with others, reminding us that we are all equal in the eyes of God. It challenges us to examine our own hearts and to strive for faithfulness in our relationship with God. As we gather around the table in our own lives, let us remember the lessons of the Last Supper. Let us embrace the call to love one another, to serve humbly, and to remain steadfast in our commitment to Christ. In doing so, we honor the sacrifice that Jesus made for us and keep the spirit of the Last Supper alive in our hearts and communities. May the memory of this sacred meal inspire us to live in a way that reflects the love and grace of Christ, nurturing our faith and fostering unity among all believers. Thank you for watching this video. Please press the like button, smash the subscribe button, share, and leave a comment.